Doug, first of all, can you maybe tell a bit of our listeners how did this trip come about for you to visit our shores here in the lovely Ireland?
Well, I just got a call from someone representing a brand of alcohol, and they said we'd like to sponsor a trip to you to come over and party with us, and so I said, I think it's an offer anyone would take up. but I mean, once they said Ireland, I went, absolutely, who wouldn't want to go to Dublin?
Yeah.
I've heard so much about it, and I've always had great, strong relationships with Irish American people, and so I jumped at the chance to come.
And Doug, it's been the 25 years now since Cool Runnings first hit our screens as the Jamaican bobsleigh team. We were enthralled by the story. But I just want to maybe take you back to the beginning, and I suppose it was the really catapult for yourself. You're still going on and having a very successful career. But how did the opportunity arise for you to get cast in the role as Sanka Coffie in Cool Runnings?
I had a television show at the time on American television, the American broadcast called the ABC. It was called Where I Live. It was a show that I produced about my upbringing in New York City. It was about a Caribbean American family who lived in Harlem. And so I was already on the Disney lot. It was co-produced by Disney. So I was already on the Disney lot at the time.
Yeah.
And I just got a script to meet with a director who eventually was a different director, a guy, Jeremiah Chechik.
Yeah.
And we sat and talked, and he expressed that he may not continue on with the project. I don't think he was very happy with the script. It was actually a drama.
Yeah.
At the time. So this project just kind of went away, and then I got a call again that they had revamped the project as a comedy, and they asked me to come in and meet with Don Steele and the director, John Turteltaub.
Yeah, and Doug, I suppose maybe when we look at the Sanka character in relation to, he really is the sort of the comedian of the whole Cool Runnings sort of franchise. In relation to that, you have these athletes who are all destined trying to be these 100-meter sprinters that are going to be the Usain Bolts for Jamaica in the Olympics. And then Sanka comes in not expecting this, the number one box pushcart racer in all of Jamaica, and all of a sudden he's thrust into the limelight with all these 100-meter runners, and it sort of brought a different sort of aspect to the movie in relation that you weren't seen maybe as the typical Olympic sort of athlete in relation to build or physique, and that brought out a good lot of humour within the movie.
Yes. I thought I'd take advantage of that, since I am not a physical specimen in any way, shape, or form. But I remember reading the script saying, well, obviously this is a comic relief character, so I just made sure that I had to fulfill that end of the bargain. I mean, I did train though with the other gentleman.
Yeah.
For about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And we took it very seriously. And I wasn't in the best shape of my life, but yes, the character was mostly there for comic relief.
Yeah, and I suppose, Doug, talking to you now, and I remember talking to Raleigh D. Lewis. Raleigh would, I spoke to him earlier in the week, and his sort of accent would be more leaning towards the Jamaican side. You really have a strong, maybe, American accent. How was that hard to portray a sort of Jamaican sort? Did you have to stay in the company of really sort of trying to get that voice, that tone in your voice to play a real Jamaican, to give the feel that you were like 100% Jamaican,
Yes. I spent my whole life with a Jamaican. My father's from Jamaica.
Oh, sorry, apologies.
No, that's okay. So it wasn't difficult for me to sort of make a transition. Although, as a matter of fact, the studio were constantly badgering us about sounding less Jamaican. So we had to come up with sort of a hybrid type accent, be as close to as authentic as possible, but not in a way that would be, soaked in patois, something that's completely, a dialect,
Yeah, and I suppose there really have been iconic sort of lines in Cool Runnings that have maybe stood to you over the test of time. You only have to go to YouTube or go to any social media sites and the teens, Sanka man, are you okay man, are you dead man, and stuff like that, I'm alright man, and stuff like that. It's sort of, even this thing about your lucky egg, this sort of omen and sort of stuff, even 25 years on to the day, see people think Cool Runnings, and those sort of quick sort of 30 seconds, those imageries of stuff like, I remember that scene when Sanka was going down and they crashed over and they asked him, are you dead man, or he's saying I have to pee, or stuff like that. And still, you must come across when you go into different parts of the world and you must be bombarded and saying, how do you remember that? And you have been repeating that same scenes over and over again,
Over and over. Wherever I go, I hear all those lines and more. Are you feeling Olympic today? On and on. So yeah, it's wonderful. I at the time when we were doing it, I had no idea there would be so many memorable, quotable lines. But it's true. Everywhere in the world that I've gone, it's been a barrage of these comments. It's really great.
Yeah, and I suppose, Doug, you had that sort of stand-up comedy sort of career going for you as well, and you were probably coming into the role, apart from John Candy, I would say you were probably one of the most experienced of the actors on set, and in relation to that, you probably knew the sort of structure that was going on there to begin with. And how much did that help you at the time as a young actor in relation to dealing of the success of the movie and how it definitely propelled your career forward? Anyway, you went on to star in The Cosby and stuff like that, and maybe having that experience of stand-up comedy beforehand, was that a big factor?
It was a big factor, particularly because it is a comedy. It helped me, to be able to work out with the director certain kind of comic bits. I mean, we were very inventive in terms of, some of the stuff with the taking off of the freezing of the dreadlock, and all of the funny stuff with the physical bits of running out into the airport with the duffel bag on my head.
Yeah. So
we came up with a whole lot of different comic bits, and obviously having worked for a while, I felt confident enough to be able to make suggestions, and we worked together. And so if I hadn't had on-set experience before, I might have been a little more timid about trying to work out bits and trying to put my stamp on the character comedically. So it did help me quite a bit.
And Doug, I suppose I spoke to Raleigh about this, and I asked him about John Candy in relation to Lord to Mercy. He's not with us anymore, John, but he told me how much of a sort of relaxed, sort of cool dude John was, both off the set and on the set, that nothing really sort of fazed him or bothered him at any time. He could be walking down the street and people could be all around him shouting his name, and he'd feel like he'd feel untouched basically. And what probably are your sort of memories or stories of your time with John Candy in relation to the profound impact he had on you going forward?
Oh, wow. I mean, he was the warmest, most kind-hearted and open person actor I've ever met. And obviously up to that point and since then, he was extremely generous in terms of, spending time with us. He was very supportive. As Ross said, if he she was bombarded by people, he would be he would embrace them back, even to the point of maybe grabbing them in a headlock or whatever.
Yeah.
He was a very friendly, loving person, and he really did impact me a lot personally because he gave great advice about not taking your career too seriously and having fun, and making sure that you took personal time for yourself. He was very emphatic about not having your acting career be central to your life. That it's a part of your life, and to take time for yourself, your health, your family, etc. So he was just a lovely, lovely man.
Yeah, and I suppose, Doug, Cool Runnings, Winter Olympics, bobsleigh. Did you actually know anything about, don't mind me asking about bobsleigh before you actually saw the script, or did you know what it entailed or stuff like that? And the actual, the scenes itself, I know that you had stuntmen for certain parts, but did you take actually any part, did you get to go on the bobsleigh for a turn yourself?
No, I didn't get a chance during the filming because they told us that we were not allowed because the insurance, because the possibility of there being danger. But I did eventually go. I went down the bobsled. The original coach of the Jamaican bobsled team. I met up with him in the United States in Utah.
Wow!
And he actually took me down for my first time, and it was it's something else. It's like I think it's like 3 G-forces of energy against your face. It's kind of like if you were skydiving or something. It's quite exhilarating.
And Doug, I suppose the movie itself in relation to locations and scenes, and I suppose there are so many different scenes and locations within the movie. Was there an awful lot of travel involved during the time of filming in relation to shooting certain scenes and certain segments, and then making your way to a different place to shoot the winter stuff and stuff like that? I imagine that while the movie was going on, there was an awful lot of travelling or downtime getting to one place to the next place in relation to shooting the scenes, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah. We shot in different countries. We shot in Canada and in Jamaica, of course, and throughout Jamaica. So that was one of the beautiful things about shooting the film, because we shot in Sandy Bay and Discovery Bay and the Ocho Rios. So we went throughout Jamaica to film the movie. So it was great, but there was definitely a lot of moving around, and it was quite a large budget film, which kind of shocked me. I was, and even the story subsequently, hearing about how invested Disney was in getting it done in terms of all of the various incarnations of it in terms of the script, and so it was a big budget movie. We moved around quite a bit.
Yeah, and I suppose if someone said to you now, Doug, we wanted to do a sequel, a Cool Running sort of 2 in relation to maybe some plot where you were training the next generation of Jamaican bobsleigh teams or something like that, or something, would that be something you jump at? Or in relation to sequels, they say sometimes they're never as good as the first one. I'm thinking about what they said about Anchorman 2 or stuff like that. Would you think Cool Runnings is such a complete sort of, it's untouchable, that to do something like that would sort of take away from what made it so good in the first place? Or do you think Yeah,
I think that at this late stage it probably would take away from it. I thought that there should have been a sequel immediately, and I did try to get one going. But Dawn Steele, who was the producer of the film, I think she had expected for the red carpet to be rolled out for her by the Disney company, and they, and I guess it wasn't rolled out quick enough or whatever. So she spent a lot of time kind of, feeling a little upset about the way that they reacted to her. Of course, it was such a phenomenal success. That there was, I think that she wanted them to embrace her more. So I think there was some personal differences there. But if they asked to do it, I would obviously love to look at the script. I would love to do it just for personal reasons. Personal reasons, I would jump at it. But, I think perhaps it might be better off just being in the time capsule and being something that is enjoyed for what it is by so many people around the world.
Yeah, and I suppose, Doug, why do you think in relation that Cool Runnings has stood the test of time in relation, we think of movies like Die Hard is such a Christmas movie every year for Christmas. The Die Hard 1, 2 or 3 come out, and in anything after 3 is considered a complete disaster in relation to the Die Hard franchise. It's not Die Hard. And in relation to why do you think Cool Runnings in relation to the 21st century, that you have kids maybe that are youngsters that are 10 or 12 or that wouldn't have been born when the Cool Runnings came out, but they see it now for the first time on their screens 25 years later, and it almost seems like to be a new movie for them, and they sort of get attached or engrossed to it. And does that bring a warmth to your heart that you can see a new generation of, say, cinema or movie audience still getting the laughs that the people now in their 30s or 40s would have got way back then?
Oh, it's a constant source of warmth and love that I feel as a result of future generations being inspired by the movie and moved by the film and its ideas, because I think that essentially the ideas are universal and they remain a very powerful message of, acceptance and embracing of people and overcoming obstacles and defining your success by your own terms and not by, some kind of external reward. And this, I think, is quite a blessing, and I think that it's wonderful that the world can think about those things, particularly young people, as we go forward, as trying to make this world more of a world of universal love and togetherness, So I'm all for that.
Yeah, and Doug, if I can ask you, if someone said to you, your character, Sanka Coffie, now it's 25 years on, if someone said, how would you like to be remembered for your portrayal as Sanka Coffie in the Cool Runnings? If they said maybe a sentence and a half, Doug as Sanka Coffie would like to be remembered as...
Yeah, Doug as Sanka Coffie would like to be remembered as warm and funny.
Yeah, Doug, I'm going to say it first, and I know you've been asked to say this a million times, but I'm going to say it first, and hopefully you can do your own Jamaican sort of twisting to finish us up, okay? So I'll go off with my best Jamaican sort of voice here on Irish radio, okay? So, feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, get on up, it's bobsleigh time. Doug, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here on Irish Radio. We'd love to see you back on our country again, back in Irish style. Maybe you can get down to the south coast and experience a bit more. 25 years on from Cool Runnings, an absolute global hit. I'm sure it's going to, for generation to generation, every time there's snow outside, when they're thinking what will we put on, it'll be Cool Runnings. And to yourself and to Raleigh Luce, who we spoke to earlier on this week, we wish you all the best in your future endeavours, Doug.
Thank you, Jim. Take care, man.
Cheers. Bye.
One love.